Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. My name is Ross Benjamin of RBWins.com. Like every Friday afternoon, I'm joined by Mr. Sean Higgs of PicksandParlays.net. We're going to be covering a couple of college basketball games and good ones for tomorrow. Purdue taking on Indiana, and also St. Mary's and Gonzaga, a couple of revenge games for the home teams in those matchups. So, Sean, how are you?
Pretty good. Excited. We got baseball started today. We had 2 baseball games today, which I really don't dive right into spring training betting. I usually wait a couple weeks to get a little bit of a feel. Plus we have the WBC, but come on, I like baseball. It's my favorite. People love NFL to bet on. Baseball is my absolute favorite because it's 15 games a day for 6 months every day. And you don't have to be 60% to make money. You can be 45% and make money hand over fist with these dogs.
And you could be 60% and losing money.
Exactly.
If you're a chalk bettor. So, the thing with Major League Baseball, folks, for those of you new out there, most of you already know this, money line betting win percentages can be deceiving, okay? So you want to look and pay attention.
Win-loss could be deceiving, you mean?
Win-loss percentage. I'm sorry. Could be more deceiving. What did I say?
You said they're money line percentages.
Okay. Win-loss percentages. Yeah. And
big difference.
As it goes, the money line betting. Okay.
Yes.
So the bottom line is that, there's a lot of opportunities out there for somebody who's trying to steal a win to take a minus 180 or 200, but just realize if you lose that game, you got to win 2 just to make that up and break even. So just be in tune and pay attention to ROI, which is return on investment, is a hell of a lot more important than just win percentage. Now, if you could do both, like Sean did during football season, that's great. But, it doesn't always happen that way when it comes to money line betting in the NHL, in Major League Baseball, et cetera. So, in any event, Sean, anything on the agenda, any complaints before we get to our free pick winners? Any complaints about the NBA?
I feel like my little rants are always on the NBA, and we'll just real fast. How does Lillard and Grant sit out with rest? They needed rest after the All-Star break because their plane was delayed, and I guess they were singing too much and they hurt their vocal cords, so they couldn't call out the plays in the game. They had to sit the next day. I can't with the NBA. What are you? Man. And like a fool, I do like the Nets tonight in the NBA, but I'm just saying the NBA, it's just they're fuss. How do you watch it? Their ratings were the lowest ever, I think, for that All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
When your ratings are the lowest ever now, when people could bet on everything from like the color of the shoes to they have a problem if they can't even bring in the total degenerates to watch this game.
Yeah.
And other leagues are maximizing.
I don't know what the ratings were exactly for the game, but I'm just curious what the ratings were for the slam dunk competition. I'm almost thinking people were terrible too. So,
probably,
I was just thinking that people would be more inclined to be entertained by that a heck of a lot more than an all-star game in which nobody's playing defense and nobody cares, so.
And that's fine for a couple quarters. It used to be like that. It was a little, show off a little bit, one-on-one guys versus each other. And in the fourth quarter, teams would want to win.
Yeah.
Now it's a total joke.
Yeah. So I don't even know why they continue those types of all-star games. The NFL, same thing. The Pro Bowl, it's a joke. Not only are you eliminating players now that are involved in the Super Bowl,
which is fine. I could understand that.
And that's I get that. That's fine.
Because it used to be a week before the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go out there and something happens to the guy. That'll be great.
Yeah. No, you can't do that. It used to be a week after the Super Bowl. I think you're referring to. Yes. So, now it's a week before the Super Bowl. You're eliminating players from the Super Bowl teams, which is I understand that. We all get that. But then you get most of these guys that are named to the Pro Bowl team, not most, but a good percentage of them bow out. And then you're getting guys that are maybe 4 or 5 down the line in terms of Pro Bowl voting at their positions. So
Huntley for the Ravens made it. How?
Yeah.
Hey, if I'm him, I'm a Pro Bowl quarterback. Pay me.
Yeah.
You don't need Lamar. Don't pay him $200 million. Pay me. I'm a Pro Bowl
Well,
quarterback.
obviously they're not paying Lamar. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Interesting developments coming up in the NFL when it comes to free agency. I believe starts the second week of March. So
Yeah.
always something to talk about there. Always something to gauge for us as handicappers in terms of futures and predicting and projecting win-loss totals and all the above, and based on who teams have lost, who they picked up in free agency, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, Sean, we got a couple good ones in college basketball, but before we get to that, tell the folks a little bit about your podcasts and also how you've been doing of late, what you may have coming up. I know it's a huge card on Saturday for you in college basketball. We are taping 24 hours in advance, folks. Keep that in mind because the lines we use are the lines that are currently right now as we speak that are just coming out, and they're all subject to change depending on when you view the video. Go ahead, Sean.
Yes. So Midday Monday, we have that 7 days a week. Oh, somebody's calling me here. Potential spam coming in on the phone. 7 days a week, Midday Money, 12 noon Eastern. The late show's back at late night. That's I guess midnight money, as Jesse would call it. For him, or he's actually my midnight money is his late night, and my midday is his late night money. But yes, that's 7 days a week. We're going to be talking about. We got conference tournaments start up on Monday with the ASUN, and then baseball, of course, futures. But again, conference tournaments start up next week, and play wise, college basketball. It's been a rough month for me, Russ. I'm not gonna lie. I'm down a little bit here. The last 6 weeks plus, a little more than 6 weeks. I am 22-48 with games within 1.5 points either way. I can't catch a cover.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, I had a rolling just where I was like 57 and like 135, like just ridiculous. I can't catch a buck. And we say this all the time. I'd rather lose and say, you know what, I was totally off in this game than miss by like close numbers. Because then I immediately go to the box score and be like, who missed a free throw and crushed me here?
Yeah.
And it is a big day tomorrow, but I've just been kind of weighing my bets back. It's not 10 games. It's going to be 4 because, if I'm not hitting them, I don't want to just say, well, I'm due. You're never due. Games I missed last night, I could have had 4 more winners. I didn't play them. You can't do that with a bankroll. Not with the amount of games I play. I got 700 games on the year. I can't just keep firing thinking, well, it'll happen. It's not happening. I've been down this road 2 years ago with close losses. It seems to be setting up like that this season. So I'm like, you know what? November, December, and January are behind me. Half of January, here comes a losing stretch. You gotta pull back, and I can't always roll. It's just
I mean, again, you know yourself as a handicapper, and we get to feel when things aren't going our way. It's not that you might have a 7 and like I went through that streak during that 8-day period where I went like 5-16. Yeah. And I was missing games by a ton, and also the ones that fell within right near the line. Okay, I was not getting the breaks go my way, But when you're going good, those games go your way, And
your 5-16 is my 20-45, 20-50.
Yeah,
and I'm going. All right, 3-6. You're like, 3-6 again, or then I go 1-3. Then I have a 4-2 day. You're like, okay, maybe we got it right. Then it's 4-3. Then it's 1-3, 2-4, and it's little, but it adds up. At the end of the week, you're like, all right, I can't fire out 10 games. I can't do it. It's
yeah.
I'm gonna try to find the ones I like the most and go with it.
I mean, I went through that 8-day losing streak, but since that time, I've won 5 of the last 6 days, going 12-6 during that course of time, all in college basketball. Didn't do anything in the NBA today, which is Friday. I didn't do anything in the NBA yesterday. I'm going to be very selective with my NBA selections, especially right up until the playoffs. I'll give you some NBA, folks, but it's not going to be a platitude of NBA games because college basketball is going to be my main focus. If something jumps out at me in the NBA and I delve in further and I find it, I'll use it. But I'll be honest with like I am with all my clients, that from this point on until probably April 1st or so, 80% or more of my basketball selections will come in college. So keep that in mind. Also, you can find me at rbwins.com. Folks, we tape here 5 days a week. This week we did 6 shows. Upcoming in March, we're going to do a big March Madness show the Monday after the selection committee makes their decisions. Well, all 5 of us will find a time where we could all appear on the show and go bracket by bracket and see what everybody thinks. And then we'll be doing a lot of free picks during the college basketball, I should say the NCAA tournament. So looking forward to that. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, why wouldn't you? You're watching this, you like sports betting, you're getting some of the best pros in the country, myself, Sean. Also, you're looking at guys like Jesse Shule, Doug Upstone, and Joey D'Amico. So a lot of good handicappers with good reputations, been around for a while with proven winning track records. So you'll see an OSGA logo there on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. Hover over that, hit the subscribe button, and while you're there, hit your notification bell as well, and you'll be immediately notified upon any of our Winner Circle Sports Betting podcasts being published on this channel. Okay, Sean, Indiana, Purdue. This time around, it's at Purdue. As we well know, Indiana knocked off Purdue at home a couple of weeks ago. Purdue comes into this game with revenge. Right now, they're a 7.5-point favorite, and the total's 141 according to 5 Dimes. This game tips at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, the 25th, and it will be televised nationally on Fox. So tell us what you think, buddy.
Yeah, so you mentioned Indiana knocked them off. Number 1 Purdue came to town as an underdog, and Indiana got them by 5. And as we said then, and we'll say here, road teams in college basketball, folks, Purdue's 24-4, 3 losses here in conference on the road. Minnesota, Maryland got them by 14. We like Maryland there. Northwestern by 6. Indiana, we mentioned here.
Yeah.
And I'll lay the points here with not a problem. Indiana, okay, they're an awful loss. That's fine. They were on the road, and they lost to Northwestern on the road. They lost at Maryland on the road by double digits. You beat Michigan only because Michigan, I think, didn't score for the last whatever part of the game. I had Michigan. Like, what happened to the offense? Did they
and
know
they still only won by 2.
And they barely hedged them out there.
Yeah.
And it's not that Indiana's not a bad team. They're tied for 3rd with Illinois, Maryland, Michigan, and 10-7 in conference play. And Purdue's easy to say, oh, look at this. They've lost a couple in a row. Across all conferences, we see this, as good as the Big 12 is, teams go on the road. We've seen them lose.
Yeah.
Purdue at home, 27-point win Ohio State, 14 Iowa, 20 Penn State, 16 Michigan State. You're telling me they're not going to win here by 10 with revenge? They got beat up by Maryland on the road, came home, and it was a blitzkrieg. It was over before it began. I think more of the same here. I think this is a 10-point plus game. Hoosiers on the road just 4-7. We mentioned their losses.
Yeah.
Give me the Boilermakers.
Yeah, 4-7 in true road games, including losses at unranked Rutgers by 15, unranked Iowa, unranked Penn State by 19, unranked Michigan State by 15, and unranked Maryland by 11. So this is a team that's been Jekyll and Hyde. At home, they're 13-1 straight up. Lights out, or 14-1 straight up, lights out in Bloomington, and Purdue playing with revenge. And this is a Purdue team that's also very good at home, as Sean alluded to, 13-1 straight up, and their only loss came to Rutgers by 1. Indiana scored 66 points or fewer in 4 of their last 5 and 6 of their last 9 games, Sean. And this is a Purdue team at home that allows around 59 points per game. So I agree with you. Lay the number here with Purdue minus 7.5 over Indiana on Saturday, the 25th. That comes from Mr. Sean Higgs, and I also endorse that selection as well. All right, I'm going to look at the game between Gonzaga and St. Mary's. And boy, oh boy, Gonzaga is also playing with revenge. And since that loss to St. Mary's, they've been on an absolute roll, meaning Gonzaga. They've gone 6-0 or 5-0, excuse me, since that loss to St. Mary's, winning by an average of 20.4 points per game, shooting 55.5% from the field, averaging 97.8 points per game. So you think, you think they're smart. They were smarting a little bit after that loss. Another thing is, since 2019-2020 season, Gonzaga is 66-2 straight up on their home floor, folks. They did lose this year to Loyola Marymount. They went on the road and revenged that game loss with a big win. I see the same type of scenario going on here. They're also 4-0 straight up in ATS, or 4-0, I should say, in their last 4 against St. Mary's on their home floor with an average victory margin of 24 points per game. This is a really good St. Mary's team. No two ways about it. They won the first matchup by 7. They pulled away late. That was a game that Gonzaga actually led the majority. Yeah, an overtime game beside. And Gonzaga led for a good portion of regulation time. So look for the Zags on their home floor. They have a strong home floor. Like I said, 66-2 straight up over the last 4 years. 85-3 over the last 5 years. In other words, this team is hard to beat at home. And when you're laying just 3, those straight up numbers take on special significance for me. So I'm going to lay the 3 here with Gonzaga to get revenge over St. Mary's. Sean, I just can't see St. Mary's sweeping them in this series. And, again, Gonzaga could win and not cover by 1 or 2. It's possible. But I'm going to pay attention to those straight up numbers I just rattled off, and the fact they're playing with revenge, and say that it's not going to land on 1 or 2. Gonzaga is going to win this game, and I like them to win by at least 8 to 10 points or more.
I agree. And I think when we did a show a couple weeks ago, I actually said in here, let's take Gonzaga. It was kind of like against my little thinking with St. Mary's at home lane a little bit. But prior to that, okay, now St. Mary's has won 2 of the last 3. Before that, Gonzaga had won like 10 of 11. Like Gonzaga had thoroughly dominated this series.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, I mean, 97 points a game in college, that's like scoring 150 in the NBA or something. It's insane. And this is a Gonzaga team I thought was kind of down a little bit. Like, I'm not really sold on them. They're not the same team, but they're still pretty good. They beat Loyola by 43 points on the road.
Yeah. That was a Loyola team that had beat them on the home floor for their only loss at home. So,
and as you said, they were leading most of the game for St. Mary's last time. Went to overtime where dogs go to die. We know this. You're overtime with a dog, you're in trouble. It's hey, I'm getting 9. I'm safe. Your team loses by 11 overtime. That's what don't take a dog in overtime. It's just mark it as a loss.
Yeah.
Revenge game here. I'm with you. Mary's by 8 to 10. Should be a convincing win. Gonzaga with an 8 to 10 point win over Mary's, I should say. I like Gonzaga.
We covered this first matchup too. You covered it specifically. You had St. Mary's.
Gonzaga. No, I had Gonzaga.
You had Gonzaga. I thought you had St. Mary's.
No, I like Mary's because everything says take Mary's in the spot because they were favored at home. Like, why are they favored? Gonzaga's owned them.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I said, I still think they own them. And they did. They owned them for literally the entire regulation. They blew it with under a minute to go.
Yeah, the freshman from St. Mary's went crazy there in the last. His name escapes me, but he went bananas in the last 5 minutes of regulation and overtime. Yeah. They had shut him down for 35 minutes of that game, and he just caught fire. And that was the major difference right there for them to come back and get that game into overtime and then eventually win and cover. So, in any event,
that Gonzaga had to let the entire game.
Yeah.
Until the last minute of the game. Or whatever it was. It was, come on.
Yeah,
that's a frustrating loss.
Those are the kind of games when you lose, you probably would make the same bet again tomorrow. And if you win, you just wipe your brow off. Don't give yourself too much of a pat on the back.
Hey, never in doubt. Nice.
Yeah,
you laugh about it.
Those are games you don't brag about. You just say, I won, and include it in your record. In any event, so recapping again, Sean Higgs, he is going to take the Purdue Boilermakers minus the 7.5 over the Indiana Hoosiers, and I'm going to take the Gonzaga Bulldogs minus the 3 at home over St. Mary's. Both home teams playing with revenge. And both of us agree with each other's selections. So there you go, folks. Jesse would say that's a bad sign. I'm telling you, we're going 2-0. Why do I say that? Because last week we went 2-0, me and Sean. The week before we went 2-0 on a Friday, me and Sean. So we're going to go 2-0 again this Friday. Sean, any final words before we sign off?
No, I can't believe it's March already. It's March in a couple of days. Right? It's funny, like you started like, wow, I can't wait till football season gets here. Now football season's over and you're thinking, wow, when's it football season? It goes so fast. Ross, and we have kids and stuff like that. People say, oh, It goes so fast. Forget about that. It's baseball. It's great. It's March Madness. I remember like yesterday. It was like, oh, here comes the Hall of Fame game with football.
Yeah, yeah, it flies by. It does.
Stop.
Baseball seems to linger on a little more than I'd like sometime, but
Yeah.
I know that you're a big proponent of I do well in Major League Baseball, although I had a terrible year last year, which just means I'm going to bounce back just the way I bounced back after that 8-day losing streak, folks. 5 of the last 6 winning days, 12-6 overall. And I'll have at least 7 college basketball picks for tomorrow. A lot of good games, Sean. Not only the 2 games we discussed, Baylor and Texas, San Diego State, New Mexico, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Texas Tech, TCU, Kentucky and Auburn, all games that are like -3 and less for the favorite. Another one, Iowa, Michigan State, A&M and Mississippi State. All close game, all close calls in terms of where the point spread is. The favorites in those contests right now, as we speak, are all -3 or less. So, if you're going to reduce your amount of bets as a volume handicapper like yourself because you're not feeling it of late, tomorrow's probably a good day to do so. But you know what? I got to ride the momentum. Like I said, folks, rbwins.com. I'll have at least 7 picks for tomorrow. So until the next time, Sean will be back with us again next week, 3 times. Probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Also, Joey D'Amico is going to be joining us on one of those days. Jesse Shule will be joining us on another of those days. 6 shows in all next week as well, folks. All Monday through Friday. We do not tape live, so you can get the shows any which way you like. The preferable way is go to our YouTube page. Right now it's OSGA. We're going to be renamed starting next week to Gamblers World. Okay. And the name of the show and the brand on the channel will be the Winner's Circle Sports Betting. So just keep that in mind. A little bit of a change of name of the site or name of the channel, and also the sponsor, which is now going to be Gamblers World. So in any event, everything else will be the same. So for Sean Higgs and Ross Benjamin, we'd like to wish each and every one of you a very, very good weekend, folks. We also wish you the best of luck. Take care and God bless.